Kia ora hoa ma. Long time no see. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to make a couple of really simple, fun flying toys. So if that seems like your sort of thing, stick around and I'll see you in the video. So, you're back. One of the things that I've been making in my class lately is a toy that is trademarked as a toy based on the manufacturing, is a toy called an X-Xylo. An X-Xylo is a circular tube like this, and it's basically like just a simple flying toy. Now, you can make them out of paper. I call it X-Xylo for purposes of what people know, or you can call it a ring flyer. There's lots of different other names for it. I've been calling it a paper plane to the students because it's a paper and it works like a plane, it flies. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to make one yourself, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick one experiment to see if we can do the same thing with this Pepsi bottle. So the first thing you want to do is you want to fold yourself, fold the paper about a finger space fold, so roughly about that much, and then you want to keep folding and folding and folding about 4 to 5 times. So it gives you a space about, let's say that much, okay? And you want to push it down really, really hard, like that, so you get a nice solid fold in it. And then you want to turn that into a ring, okay? It's really, really simple, okay? And you want to overlap your join there. And then what I'm going to do to hold it in place is staple it. If you don't have staples, you can use sellotape. I recommend using sellotape. Glue won't work. The tension in the paper is going to want to pull it apart, and when you throw it, especially the way the weather is at the moment, being wet and things like that, or if it gets a little bit damp, it's going to fall apart. So a staple like that will hold it in place and do the other end too. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's overly symmetrical. Okay, what you want to do though is get it into a nice, beautiful, round, circular curve. You know, try and get out all those hard corners. That's really nice. So what I'm going to do now is, generally with aircraft, things fly a bit better when they're nose heavy, because that's going to generate momentum, and the more momentum you have, air's going to pass through and want to cause lift. So it's going to make things fly further. So what I suggest to you is use masking tape or sellotape. Sellotape works really well, but sellotape tends to not have very good grip, and you need a good grip to throw it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this, turn it to time lapse, and you'll see me just taping it up. So that's all it takes, all done. The tape kind of adds a certain amount of rigidity to your structure. It's going to kind of waterproof the end, because you'll find that because it's nose heavy, it's going to want to land down like that all the time. And so if you're playing with it outside, it's going to protect it a little bit, so it's going to last a little bit longer. The one that I just showed you before is totally filthy. It's been played with in the mud and everything, and it's lasted quite a good time. One of the things I forgot to mention too is you can make this using an A4 piece of paper, and I've used heavy paper, almost card, to do it, because the rigidity makes it work a bit better. You can use normal paper, but you won't be able to get as much weight behind it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you me flying it. I'll give it a chuck inside the classroom here, and then we'll move on to a plastic one, and hopefully that works too. Stick around. Catch. So when you're using this, it's just like throwing American football or like a baseball or a tennis ball even, except instead of trying to create backspin, what you're trying to do is create side spin. So where you've got your seam, you want to hold your fingers there, and when you throw it, you want to kind of whip your arm at the same time so it flies like this. And when you get really good at it, you'll notice that, especially when it does what I call a stall, so it slows down really, really slow, you can see it gently spinning like that, and that's what helps make it move through the air too, like a turbine effect. So that's really good. Really easy starter one. Now we're going to move on to experimental version. And what I want is this straight section here. You can see it's roughly about the same size. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut along the flat part here, and I want probably the little end opening part there. So stick around, let's see what happens.